I've just been thinking about life lately. Just thinking about where I am, what am I doing, what's my future gonna look like, who do I have around me, who would I like to have around me. Just pretty much everything. And I don't know if you can relate, but at least for me, I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I tend to overwork, I tend to overthink, I tend to have like imposter syndrome even. I keep thinking to myself like, man, like I'm 21, I'm not even close to where I want to be. I don't have X amount of money in the bank. Why am I still employed? I should be a full-time entrepreneur by now. I should be fully independent and sustainable. I should be this, I should be that. And today just made me realize that I've been so hard on myself because on the way back from a client's house today, I just dropped off his car. I found myself in this black Chevy Suburban and I realized like, bro, I'm 21. I'm in a black SUV, driver and everything, fully blasted air conditioning. My last job, I was outside sweating all day. I'm wearing a nice suit. I got my AirPods in. I'm on the phone with clients, texting friends, on Instagram. I'm so comfortable being driven back to downtown Miami. And in that moment, it just hit me. Like, bro, you're doing pretty good. You're not doing bad. Because looking back at everything now, when I started here in Miami, I only had 2 mall jobs and I was renting out this room that was so hot. It was 78 degrees. Not that I wanted it to be, but the landlord that I was renting this room from left it that way. She was like this old lady. She did not want the temperature controlled because she was so sensitive. Even 71 was already cold for her. I was just sweating all the time. And bro, I even bought like 3 fans just to cool down my room. I thought the fans would solve the problem, but no, it actually made things even worse because of, I guess, the electric current. It just heated up the room even more. So my only resort was to either open my window, and it only worked during the winter, and if I couldn't open my window, I would open up the freezer on my mini fridge, and that's how I cooled down this room that I used to sleep in. Yeah, that was basically my life for the first year of Miami. I was just renting out this room that I absolutely hated. And then I was working at H&M and Coach. I would come into H&M in the morning and then Coach at night, vice versa. But that was pretty much my life for like the first year of Miami. And there's so much more that happened in between from that to now. There's like way more stories that I could go on about, but that's probably for the future. But the point is that I've just been so focused on where I'm not versus where I am. Yeah, maybe I'm not at the levels where I want to be at, but I've definitely come a long way versus where I first started. From working 2 mall jobs, one of them was fun. I really liked working at Coach, but the other one, working at H&M, it was horrible. I did a little bit of everything. Like I was in like the fucking fitting room, organizing the clothes. I was doing cashier, and then I did a little bit of visual merchandising. That was actually decent. It was like a very early morning shift. You come in at like 6 a.m. You organize the store layout. You get to be a little creative with it. It's kind of your choice on how you want the store to look like. You get to pick what the mannequin wears based on like the company guidelines, whatever. That was the most fun it would get. Just sitting in that car made me realize like, wow, like, bro, you're actually not doing bad. Like you have clients who are millionaires giving you advice, giving you motivation. It took me that moment just to realize everything. Like, wow, I'm actually sitting in the back of a nice SUV with nice air conditioning, where I didn't even have any of that in like the first place that I rented out, and let alone my last job where I was outside all day. So it just really made me realize like, damn, like I've come a pretty long way so far. I should be a little bit more grateful for that. What's the analogy? I should smell the roses more. I just wanted to share this story with you guys because sometimes we get so caught up in where we're not because we're comparing ourselves to other people. At least we're so focused on the things that we don't have. We don't have this kind of income. We don't have this kind of lifestyle. We don't have this kind of house or whatever it is that you're thinking about. Sometimes we get so lost in that we forget the good graces that we've been given by God and like the people around us. So if you're in a very similar situation like me, you're kind of like a perfectionist, an overthinker, imposter syndrome hits you quite a lot. I just want to pass on a piece of advice that I wish somebody else would have been able to tell me, and that is just to slow down and just enjoy the process, enjoy where you are, appreciate everything that you have. If I'm gonna be totally honest, I don't even think I'm successful at all. I feel like I'm struggling. I feel like I'm behind. I'm 21 and I'm not a millionaire. It sounds very absurd saying it out loud, but that's really how I feel. Ironically enough, during my lunch today, I was outside this restaurant just having a bite, and this kid in his scooter comes riding by. And at first he just compliments me. He's like, "Hey man, I like your suit." And I'm like, "Thank you, man." He goes past a little bit, and then he turns around, and then he approaches me, and then he says, "Hey man, sorry to interrupt, but do you know where I can find some jobs around here? Anything like sales or something?" And I start like brainstorming some ideas for him. I was asking him like, "Oh, like how old are you, man? Like, is there like a specific field that you want to go for?" And he tells me, he's like, "Oh, well, I'm new here. I'm from Italy. I'm 18 years old. I want to do something like office-like or whatever." I guess he was just kind of profiling me because I was in a suit, so he probably thought I was like a salesman or something. I already like his energy. He's like this young guy. He's 18. He's got this like hustle energy to him. It's something like I kind of see like my younger self in him. I decide to pick his brain, conversate with him, and I ask him like, "Oh, like what's your experience like? What do you like to do? What are your interests?" He's just telling me like all these like little side hustles that he's doing. I told him I've done a little bit of car sales. You could start off there, and basically we go on and on about other sales positions. I tell him like selling gym memberships would be pretty good too, because some of them are commission based. There could be good money in that. And as the conversation continued, he tells me, "Man, like I'm only 18, but I feel like I'm so behind. I feel like I should have been doing all this stuff when I was 15. And I'm like, "Damn, dude, like," and here I am like, "Dude, I'm 21 and I feel like I'm behind." So when he told me that, it just really made me think of everything that I was feeling today, everything that I was telling you guys just now, just the whole thing of feeling like behind, feeling like I'm not even successful. I'm feeling like I'm not where I want to be. And I'm looking at this 18-year-old kid, and I'm looking at him like, yo, that kid's successful. He's already doing a little bit of Forex. He's got his little side hustles going on, and he's bold. Like, he just went up to me asking where he could find a job. He even went inside the restaurant that I was eating at to ask for a job. Like, this kid was a hustler. And even I was telling him like, "Nah, bro, like don't be so hard on yourself. Like, you're only 18. If anything, you're quite early." It was just a super cool conversation to have, and it just made me realize like, man, I'm telling this kid that he's being too hard on himself. Like, maybe I'm being a little too hard on myself as well. It was just a really nice conversation, and just really made me think about everything that I'm telling you today. And the best part of that conversation was the end of it, where like we exchanged contact information, like we exchanged Instagrams. So when this kid took off with his scooter, he said, we're gonna make money together." He yelled it out loud while he was taking off. So meeting that kid today also made me think about everything, made me realize like, man, maybe I'm being too hard on myself too. Don't do anything degenerate, don't do anything stupid, please don't. But at the same time, do loosen up a little bit, be a little kinder to yourself, and smell the roses. Enjoy everything that you have, and everything that you've achieved up to this day. And yeah, that's all I wanted to share. Hope you guys have a good one. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.